fracas hit Scott Pruitt has obedient as chief of the U.S. Ecological Protect Agent. In an email to CEO Donald Trump Card, he accused merciless attacks on oneself and his household. Mr. Trump Card tweeted how Mr. Pruitt had made an eminent work, and I will ever be grateful to him. But with Take Office Space, Mr. Pruitt has been mired in episode of scandals about his conducting manners and estimated improper use of office space. His vice Andrew Wheeler will get above as operating chief of the agent, Mr. Trump Card told. Mr. Pruitt is the object of at low a half a dozen investigations in his hold. He has been by study for leasing and flat in bonds to a fossil embers lobbying. He is as well charged of circumventing the White's building to save big pay rises for 2 length-time personnel members. Meantime, he has indignant lot liberals and environmentalists by strongly reducing the agent's activities and abolishing lot measures intended to defend the environmental. In his retire email, Mr. Pruitt told he was walking downward of Friday, really, yours trust in me has blissful me individually and switched me to preliminary yours order of business for which nobody expected at the start of yours authority, he told. Yet, the merciless attacks on me individually, my household, are unparalleled and include undertaken a significant duty on all of us, he added. On Thursday night, CNN cited a nameless elder White's building formal proverb how the Pruitt controversies were inching in the direction the tip spot. It turns out how spot was really shut really. The EPA head had controlled to conduct out much longer rather than largest anticipated as a cavalcade of controversies installed, every one quite to bring down a office nominee in a history authority. Mr. Pruitt had kept due to a conjunction of the strength in that he progressive the prudent purpose of cutting regulation and easing the agent and Mr. Trump Card's nature unwillingness to concede to a policy shout. In the late, yet, it was Mr. Pruitt who had been weak for maintenance, hobbled by concoction of misuse of the force and preference of office space. Mr. Trump Card had go to Washington pledge to leak the bug, and Democrats, in medium-term elections looming, were poised to spot to Mr. Pruitt as a main sample of how the bug had consumption the CEO and Republicans in general. In Andrew Wheeler, a ex-charcoal production lobbying, set to run the agent for the instant next, slight will perhaps changing as far as policies and priorities during the EPA. Lot Republicans in Washington, who were increasing restless in Mr. Pruitt's outwardly never-ending bad click, will certainly be lucky in the changing. Their ease, yet, may be painted in a specific sum of pity. Mr. Pruitt had tested to be an efficient defend of the prudent struggle versus the EPA, and though environmentalists had recognized him as a menacing enemy, Mr. Pruitt oneself had aspirations for high office space, each during the authority or behind household in Oklahoma. Time policy careers these days are seldom constantly ended, at low for the time his has been severely derailed. Democrats welcomed the retire, but down there was as well slight passion for his replace Mr. Wheeler, a ex-charcoal production lobbying. Massachusetts Sen. Ed Markey told Number Big Oil's order brush person was creature replaced by Tsar Charcoal's top lobbying. A faithful prudent, Mr. Pruitt has firmly supported Mr. Trump Card above his judgment to drag out of the Paris Environment Accords. In his rotate, Mr. Trump Card has praised him for cut behind ecological regulation that he blames for stuffy economical increase. But the White's building appears to include chilled to Mr. Pruitt newly. On Tuesday, Representative Hogan Gidley outlined the controversies cladding Mr. Pruitt as busy and told Mr. Trump Card was looking in them. Mr. Pruitt is as well by inquiry too.